Hi Libra, welcome into your mid-August 2023 Money and Career Tarot reading. I hope you're doing well. We're going to begin and speak upon three of the tea leaf oracle cards that I pre-pulled for us, and then we'll move on to the tarot. I don't even know where to start because I'm getting so many different messages for you. This might apply to you getting downloads as well throughout the remainder of the month. It could be in regards to all that you're managing, handling, having to be responsible in regards to. But I do feel a bit of a showy vibe about your energy at certain points, things affecting you. There's one, if not multiple situations where the energy is a bit rough, if not fully rough. And this will make it either a bit more difficult to do something, maybe even add to something that you're creating, developing, accomplishing. I do sense that your ease and ability to get the job done is absolutely being highlighted in the awareness, the eyes of others, people trusting that you can get things done appropriately in your own way, your ability to easily and effectively adapt, multitask. I'm hearing a project is going to be very important for some, to connect with people easily. That's also going to help you. I feel like people want you to do well. People are supportive of you. There's a sense of you also getting spiritual love flowing your way, spirit working around you behind the scenes to gain you more abundance in general, and that helping you financially and success-wise. But otherwise, besides those two levels of abundance, I'm sensing there's growth taking place. People noticing that you're changing, you're growing through your work, due to your work. There's a sense of you thinking about a new situation for the future that's going to be very, very beneficial as far as, how your world starts to transform because of it. But look at this, the pin card, a new job or career. But this could also be a business, an expansion. This may be more in regards to you thinking about a new one for the future, but for some, there's good news in regards to you getting this acceptance. I also feel like if it's not a career situation that you're thinking about for the future or acquiring at this time, or maybe you just did in the beginning of the month or so, it could be more an investment, say a car, a mode of transportation. It could be a new place to live. Now, for some, it could be a career situation and an investment on your mind within your focus. Bear with me. But again, things are affecting you. I'm just keeping it real. Not everything is, I heard sugar and butterflies, but I feel like the sweetness of your results is yours for the taking, yours to feel grateful for. All right. Very odd messages to come through, but something about a bag. Okay. The purse card. Now, I do feel like as well, going back to the ear card, there's a need to thoroughly, effectively listen to your intuition, trust it, put it to use. Selectively listen to spirit, but trust to know once again that they're guiding the remainder of the month for you so that things will work out for you so that you can maybe adjust your perspective at certain points. Okay, so honestly, this is coming through. So someone else, if not multiple people, don't succeed as much as you. Just trust that that's meant to be. Okay. But the purse card talking about you paying attention to your finances. I also feel like there's more than one level of small good news and potentially one big level of good news coming through for you. Chances to succeed left and right, but are you going to take them all? Probably not. But I feel like you'll end up accepting and taking on what you're meant to. You don't have to try to tackle everything all at once. Break it down, right? Prioritize as I struggle to speak. But this card talking about paying attention to your finances being of true importance. The number 404, look up that angel number meaning. There's a sense of you being good looking, feeling good for the most part. When you feel exhausted, depleted, right? The struggle comes to be a bit. Know that that's because you're handling a lot, because you have a lot going on, because you're just needing to heal, to rest. And you're not an Energizer bunny, so please give yourself credit. You might find that it's not as busy for some as it was in the beginning of the month, or you have less stemming from a situation purposely in comparison to the past couple weeks, but know that the upcoming month is going to be even busier. So just take a deep breath and recognize that everything's fluctuating as it's meant to. But are we managing our money wisely? For some, yes, some no, and for some, that's fluctuating as well, where you're on top of it, you're spending less, minimal, and then you start to tap back into the bad habit of overspending, overdoing it. And Spirit's saying, well, if we cut out that overspending altogether, you'd be so happy with the progress you make with your savings increase, with yes, taking steps towards more for yourself. All right. But with all of that coming through, let's move on to the tarot. I don't know if I showed this at the bottom of the deck because there was another attempt where I did. You also have the star card at the bottom talking about guaranteed success. And I feel like for some, that's more than one situation where you are succeeding. Now, this star card also came out in Leo's reading, so you may want to tune into theirs. But there's a sense of you being quite star-like in your energy, all right? People admiring you, people seeing your worth, what you bring to the table, all right? Now, that could be in an interview or at the beginning of a new position, through your business. It could be, again, more than one situation. But there's some being drawn to the reading where you are continuing a position for work, and authority figures, people, coworkers, you could even be customers, clientele, seeing or being reminded of what you bring to the table, what you add. And I feel like it's even more than they're witnessing or noticing, but you bring a lot to the table once again. Okay, you're worth a lot. Interesting. They're saying your net worth, or just your worth in general, will increase dramatically as you continue down your path moving forward. I wouldn't say necessarily throughout the remainder of August, but they're saying in general, if we take a step back, you may need to do that in other ways. The Four of Pentacles and the Empress card, there's a huge focus on where your control lies, where it doesn't. You needing to just allow for your savings to stay put and or increase, all right? Don't tap into it is what I'm getting. But I feel like all the meanwhile, some of which are thinking about coastal vibes, some of which thinking about more for yourself. You can't help but think about that. Now, any small moments of imperfection, difficulty, annoyance, I want to say, at work and or at home, or even when you're running your business, you're going to find that this is a true reminder that something isn't meant to last after a certain point. Or that you deserve and even desire more for yourself. Looking at the larger picture will help you keep or bring back a healthy perspective, and therefore you can move forward and stay or become emotionally detached from whatever is at hand. This is going to help you succeed more so. It will add a lightness to it or remove that heaviness. The Empress card, because I feel like you are, again, thinking about giving birth to something new, potentially more than one situation for you. There's a feeling of you being very caring in nature, and this being so obvious, all right? And this, again, could be through, say, a business and a job, or two jobs. It could just be one situation, but I feel like all the meanwhile, people see you going places. I'm also hearing you will be missed. There's a sense of you knowing where you're meant to be, but needing to do this, this, and this, or gain this, this, and this before you can be where you're meant to be, all right? But understand that the time between now and then is very much purposeful, all right? Think about all that you have, and the gratitude will increase, all right? I feel like a situation is transforming potentially to your advantage in one way, but there's certain changes that are taking place or being discussed, or spirits forewarning you of, I want to say in a job for a lot, it's not positive, okay? But again, if that's the case, it's temporary. Either the changes are, or one specifically is, or your placement within that situation is very much temporary. Also coming out, we have the King of Cups. Someone around you is quite emotional, so do recognize if you're empathic when you're picking up on that or sensing it. If you predict it all in the remainder of the month, you're going to find that this is quite accurate. There's a sense of you being looked at in a very high honored light, one who can do no wrong, even though you're viewing yourself as very imperfect. Try not to be very hard on yourself in the remainder of the month because, yeah, I feel like you're doing well. There's a sense of you being a little bit emotional at a couple points in the remainder of August, but I feel like this is you just needing to do some healing, right? You know, when you're tired and you just get a little bit emotional, it could be, again, someone else's energy you're being affected by. I feel like the mood, the energy in a situation will take a shift at a certain point throughout certain days in the remainder of the month, and it's just uneasy. All right, so just cope with it to the best of your ability. Take a deep breath and shift on forward. Try to not over exude as well. Savor your energy, your resources in more than one way, but allow for yourself to just, I want to say, coast through the remainder of the month and just do what you have to do. Don't do, try not to overdo it by putting in extra work when you don't need to. All right, if it's, say, for a business, like if I was to do an extra reading, obviously I'm going to gain more because I'm going to help more people. But say it's at a day-to-day job where you know you're not going to make more money, and you may not even find appreciation for the extra work, extra tasks coming back to you, then just do what you have to do. All right. Some may not love that advice, but that's coming through for a reason. The Seven of Pentacles, because I sense that you, at certain points, don't want to do what you have to do. Fair enough. Nobody's perfect. You're only human. Say there's cleaning up to do at work, for just an example, but you got to do it either way. Just do what you have to do in that sense. But I feel like there's a lot to deal with, a lot that you're thinking about. Try to silence your mind when you find overthinking coming to be, regardless in the end of the month, just in a general sense. But I also feel like you're thinking about how you used to handle a similar situation. Say it's a living situation, a work situation, a business. I feel like you're doing it more efficiently in a lot better manner at this point than you once did. Anyways, but I also feel like, again, there's a true reminder, do not take, I mean, if you really, really have to, go for it, but do not take from your savings. Allow for that to stay put and grow all the meanwhile. When you say no to something, ask yourself why. Don't overthink it, but ask yourself why. There's a reasoning for it. Spirit could have pushed you to say no. It could have been more your intuition, both. But I feel as if your work is paying off. The remainder of the month, once again, as we get ready to wrap this up, is a very successful time for you where they're forewarning you once again, the upcoming month is even busier for you, where everything that you touch turns to gold. All right. It's a time where the good news, the accomplishments, staying busy even will feel very gratifying. And again, let that savings increase, work in to your advantage, and move on forward, take steps towards more for yourself. All right. So I hope this was truly helpful. Sending you so much love and light. Go enjoy the remainder of your month, Libra, and I'll see you next time.